Hello, you guys. Sean Van Oslo here. Just want to share some quick ideas with you, real quick, about how live events with audiences can pair with restaurants to help each other out. Some quick ideas. Hope you can run with. So, what we perceive the problem to be is outside forces determining your marketing expenses and returns, and you don't know them until it's too late. So, this is examples of like billboard advertising being $800, some print advertising, whatever it may be. An outside force sets the price, and how frequently you can communicate with it. Each time you go back and communicate, it's a new expense. It's what we're looking to combat. So I'll give you a brief background because it's recommended as a format about who I am, why I'd even give a darn about this. So created an LLC after Submarine Life and thought I'm part of the club because we incorporated and I incorporated and went through the process of jumping through the bureaucratic hoops. However, there was nothing to sell, and it was a fancy name with LLC behind it, but it wasn't a legitimate business. I'd sell plasma to pay for a Chamber of Commerce membership, so I could get around the ideas in the community and and just be around people I respected and liked what the operations were about. So I'd sell plasma and take the bus to some of these meetings and board meetings where they'd plan festivals and got to see some of the process, and it was very intriguing, and it helped get some insight into what audiences are available that we can share with restaurants. So there's been times where it took the bus 3 hours to get to work, sell plasma. We understand that money and energy are valuable resources that want to preserve yours and protect the money and energy that our friends have. So, spent years researching this and communicating with business professionals. Frankly, restaurants are the people we want to help. There's the brief bio. The framework slide. So, this is what the process would look like if we started communicating. First, we'd sit down and say, what the hell do you actually want? In person or over the phone. Sit on the same side of the table. You can draw out what your expectations are, what the most important things in a service of communicating with customers would be, and test some solutions together. So the next piece would be organizing your calls to actions and exploring what else would help. So your calls to actions are the offers you're making, your gift card promotions, your event ticket sales, your holiday specials. Check the math. Then we organize your communication assets. So is it in person at an event? Do you have a booth at a festival? Is there email marketing or push notifications? Are you using one-off media or recyclable media? In the sense of, is it a big expense one time that gets attention but you can't present a sale? Or is it a communication asset you can reuse repeatedly, the cost doesn't rise, and you can continue to make offers? Which is why I lean towards email marketing and push notifications, because it's a cost you can predict, and then you can continually use it as frequently as you'd like on demand. Then we'll converse about how much promotion you want done and what is to be measured. So everybody has individual key performance indicators and what they care about. So can't jump to conclusions about what you care about. Let's just hear it from you and then see what can possibly be done. Okay, the next step is determining where your personal reserves were built from. I almost thought about leaving this out of the promotion, but frankly, for us to feel good about it, we need to know that there's something being set aside separate from the business to protect people's peace of mind. Number 6 would be your personal checks and balances system. Simply, when are you auditing the process? How frequently are the reviews? And what is the process we have to check that it's working the way we intend? And then we'll recycle the process at acceptable intervals. So we're going to go through a potential restaurant nightmare, an experience that we want to combat, and frankly, we'll go through it real quick. So imagine you open your ad spend and it went 1K over the plan since you checked it yesterday. You'd strangle your marketing guy if you hadn't already paid him, and both agreed it would take time. Everyone seems to be on this social media bandwagon, and your buddies reassure you to be patient with the bleeding advertising dollars. Meanwhile, your dishwasher breaks and you find out your taxes are going to be higher. You made a brave move, but the sales aren't coming in and the responsibility falls on your shoulders in the end. What if you could access an audience of 10K locals without the surprise expenses of other marketing activities? Once you've secured the booth and software, it's up to you how you're going to use them. Your phone notifies you of an email from the event planning committee of all the promotional assets at your disposal. You move over to the Eventbrite Organizer app and create your event hosted at your restaurant. Decide if it's got a ticket price or not. Then you're in control and it's an internal operation. So, on your part. We want to address today's bandwagon social media advertising casino. Now this is great. It's a science I don't understand. If you want to do it, wonderful. If it works for you, it can be totally empowering. It's not currently my preferential recommendation because it can be a casino if you don't know what you're doing, and it's not your only option. It's not my first recommendation because it's a potential runaway expense, and I prefer to be able to do the math in advance and know it won't change. So a fixed cost on the media and the software, and you can repeatedly reuse it as you see fit. Okay, so what our goal here is audience access between an event which has an audience and connecting it into having a conduit to your database. So a conduit to your communication assets where you can make offers to them after the event and make sales during the event. So you're essentially buying permission to communicate with an audience at a discount with the ability to utilize whatever communication assets you can engineer or leverage, with some of these assets shared with you in advance. So there's a list of them that event by event they'll have. Some statistics for you are 84% of food festival goers post pictures of the food from your restaurant. 99% of millennials will recommend food they found at a festival. The source is Eventbrite. Okay. And final point, marketing and predicting approximate sales can be an internal operation when you build it from the ground up. When you know what you're offering, how you're going to use the communication assets, what the cost of each thing is, and how to do the math to progress. So let's say, for example, you've got push notifications at $25 a month to communicate with 2,500 people. That's 2,500 subscribers you can gain from your festival booth that costs you $350. So we're looking at a cost of about $375 compared to a billboard, which might be $800 or $2,000 or whatever the fixed cost is. But instead of a one-off media, you're having a recyclable media that you can use on demand as you see fit to make your offers. So once you've got the processing points of your different transactions, such as your gift cards through GiftFly, your PayPal or Stripe or whatever you're using to process it, you can put the link into your push notifications or your email marketing. And there's coaching with every software. So whatever carrier you decide to use, you can get coaching to work through the technical kinks. It's standard practice to have this troubleshooting help. You can communicate with me if you want some of the troubleshooting help. And then the other piece is tracking. So a Google Analytics tag on your victory page. It's just a piece of code that you'll put into the page that you want to keep track of. Whether it's gift card sales on your Facebook page, ordering tickets, or just straight up orders through Grubhub or whatever you've decided on. So the end game is having this master sheet of your calls to action, your communication assets, your calendar, and your cash flow. I forgot to mention the 4 C's. So it's your calls to action, your communication assets, your calendar as the frequency of your promotions and what you're offering when, and cash flow practices to protect yourself. So that whenever you get through a quarterly review or a weekly review, there's some cash flow practices that you set aside to keep yourself from getting burned. The idea is your you're able to see on a sheet how the math's going to play out. And if you we're going to have going to have open office hours Thursday and Friday. So Thursday and Fridays are the days that I can sit with you on the same side of the table, find out, hear what's the most important thing to you in communicating with customers, what your expectations are, and just what would help. So feel free to email me at getrestaurantpatrons@gmail.com. Call me at 360-789-7627. Oh, and we're going to be getting a booth space for a restaurant at one of the festivals. So I've set aside some funds to get a booth space, and then we can have email newsletter set up behind it, push notifications if they want, and these different processing calls to actions behind the booth. So the whole idea is to get a booth, give it to a restaurant, and then they can recoup you won't be paying for the booth, but you'll be able to use it, and then you can sell your food from your food at the booth. We're not going to be taking a royalty, and then get people out of your database. The selfish reason here is to get a case study. So the selfish reason is to get the ideas out there and get them validated through a booth with an audience. Okay. If you have any questions, reach out and take care. All right.